So here we go. We're doing an oil painting of a dog portrait. I don't know if that's what you say for dogs, but a painting of a dog. My family dog. Bring, here it is, obviously, complete. This video, I'm gonna do a voiceover of the whole process because I think that's more exciting than just watching a time lapse of an oil painting. The videos I love to watch and learn from on YouTube, people are doing the time lapse and then they'll talk about their process and the steps over the video, and that's what I'm gonna do. Never done it before, but that's what we're gonna do. I'm all set up here. Obviously I got the reference. That's the most important part of this whole thing. Obviously I'm not gonna be able to paint my dog because she'll be moving and whatever, so I gotta get good reference, and good reference is a good high quality photograph, not overexposed, and generally you want a light and a dark side. Light's coming from over here. This side of the pup is lit, you know, most of it's in shadow actually, but you know, you got a good one source of light that's easier to map out and kind of execute. So that's the first step, and the rest we're gonna talk about. Actually, this is a gift for my mom for her birthday, but the point of these, not just as a present, and I'm killing two birds with one stone in that regards, but it's to learn, you know, it's to practice. I'm studying, thinking about what I did well, what I didn't do well, and also, you know, just the individual aspects and scenarios within each painting. There's massive room for improvement, and so that's the main agenda, that's the main point and purpose of these little paintings. And they don't take very long, maybe 2 days, sometimes they're even 1 day, you know, self-portraits and blah blah blah. So the point is to improve and study. That's kind of what I want to nail down, and that's it. Without further ado, let's start from the beginning. Hello, this is me. Okay, we're starting off. So like I said, there's things in this painting that I do think I did well, and a lot that I think I can massively improve on. I already got the dog sketched out with a couple shadow lines. That's because I'm kind of worrying mostly about colors, not really focusing on the actual structure of the dog. This is more of a color study and nailing the values, like I've said in other videos. So we're just putting in the local colors, not worrying about anything. The green grass, obviously, the sky, it's pretty sloppy. And my main agenda really in these beginning couple, you know, minutes, an hour, is just to put paint on the canvas, get paint down. Obviously you want generally right values in right places, but it's just getting paint down. So moving into this dog, these colors actually are very muddy. You know, the shadow is very cool. As you can see in the photo, the highlights are warm and the shadow is cool. And so these are just, again, just putting down paint, filling up the canvas to continually layer. You know, I know I'm going to do more layers. I know things are going to dry. So the beginning stages is just getting paint down. Here I'm just, you know, methodically mapping it out, looking at things where I want to put things, and you know, it's just these are fun stages because it's just putting down stuff. You obviously want it to be the right things in the right places with the right color and value, but it's no pressure at all. It's just getting things down. So I'm putting in these muddy colors. These are all the shadows, you could say. I haven't even touched the highlights of the main subject, the dog. So, you know, the cool shadows, and then to the face, obviously it's a little more light and brown. Here's the first highlights we're putting in. This is a very saturated yellow, actually. You know, my dog doesn't actually have probably this color, but I'm sort of idolizing these colors and the highlights. And so, you know, really bright, a way higher value than those cooler blue shadows. This is more highlights, and that's kind of the way it works. I'll do the shadows first and then kind of map out the highlights, and there you have two really contrasting values that really give form to the painting, the subject, whatever you want to call it, this dog. So with just two general opposite values, you have, you know, the form, and then it's all about just, you know, rendering it out more, bringing more values, bringing the correct colors. And you know, I'm actually using the same brush this entire painting so far, this flathead, and I like it because you can get these kind of, you know, very straight lines, as you could see I did before with the border, you know, a nice straight line, and then also it's just good for blending. And yeah, you don't really need anything crazy. I'm just using the same exact brush for all of these beginning stages. And here you can see I'm doing more midtones. But still just filling up the canvas. I haven't even, you know, put paint in all the places yet. This is the mouth. We're just putting in the darks, the lights, you know, some simple pinks and magentas for the tongue and nose, the collar. So I really haven't varied much. I'm just putting paint down. I got this tennis ball that I did a terrible job on. But yeah, so most of the paint is down in this stage, and this brush is a softer brush, and I'm kind of just rubbing in this more saturated color with the yellow. Like I said, I'm trying to idealize the dog fur, like this golden color. My dog actually in reality is more blondish white, you know, I guess you could say. It's not actually yellow. And right now it looks quite yellow, but that's gonna change soon enough. And that's one of the issues I had. I just made it too yellow. But so going back into the highlights, you can't really tell, but I have a lot of paint on this brush. It's very loaded with paint. You know, generally in oil painting, you wanna paint the light. You know, what you see in reality is light on a form in space. So you don't really see shadow. There's nothing in shadow because there's no light in shadow. So you generally want to paint light and have more opacity in the highlights. So right here again, there's a lot of paint on this brush, and I'm really loading it up for these highlights that's on her back right there. The sun is obviously behind her. And yeah, just molding around. And once there's more paint on the canvas, you know, I'm obviously putting paint down, different values, but it's also a lot about molding and modeling the paint that's already down on it. You can't tell in some situations. I'm actually taking another bigger brush and blending it all, making it softer, you know, more gradated. You could call it blending, but it's more like modeling. You're modeling the oil around. Yeah, and I'm just trying to render more, get more highlights, you know, more shadows. And then stepping away from the actual subject, the dog, going back into the background, putting in some bigger shapes for the grass, and then more detail with the grass. And you can see that there's a nice gradated, you know, in the back towards the background, the grass is less saturated, it's a little lighter, and when you're coming forward, it's more saturated, more green, and actually darker. There's darker shades, and that's more contrasty to show that it's closer. And this angle of the dog is very, you know, foreshortened. The paws are the closest, that's why they're a little bigger looking, and the grass right in front, you know, it's super detailed and close to the camera. So yeah, just putting in those different values of blades of grass, getting those rules I just talked about down, going back into the background, fixing some stuff. Pretty simple. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, this was a pretty simple painting, only about 2 layers, 2 passes. It didn't take weeks. I didn't do massive amounts of layers. I didn't do crazy detail work. It was just the core ideas, the core values, the colors, the general background, and all the elements within a short amount of time to be a nice little study. Probably took total 8 hours, you know, 2 4-hour sessions, and it's great practice. So hopefully maybe you learned something. This is the first time, like I said, I did the voiceover kind of video, and I thought it was cool, it was fun. It's definitely more exciting, I guess, than just watching a time lapse of an oil painting. You know, it's not as exciting as the stencil projects I do or bigger murals, but I actually like to talk about that process and the things I thought I did well, things I can improve on, the whatever little techniques throughout the way. So let me know what you thought about this kind of voiceover with oil paintings. I think I'm probably going to do that moving forward, specifically with oil paintings, which aren't super exciting to watch other than me talking about it perhaps. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.